The castle itself is so magical that even Walt Disney was inspired by the fairy tale architecture. He designed the Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty California Disneyland Castle after it. During the winter months, the Neuschwanstein Castle becomes a fairy tale Christmas castle as snow covers the towers and the surrounding Bavarian mountains. Now, here's the shocking story about this historic castle. The construction of the castle began in 1868, but it was never completed. Commissioned and designed as a retreat by the Bavarian king, King Ludwig II. The Swan King was a legend even before his death. He avoided social events and wished not to engage in politics. His interests were instead focused on the arts, architecture, and music. While King Ludwig II grew up in the Hohenschwangau castle, he dreamed of his fairy tale castle in his teen years. Few years later, the construction began up the hill that would serve his personal retreat. The king had great attention to details, which accounts the interesting features throughout the castle. Some of the most stunning rooms are the Singer's Hall and the Throne Hall. This room also has a massive chandelier modeled after a crown, which weighs more than a car. The king used his personal fortune to fund the castle's construction, but it didn't take long for the money to run thin. As he continued to expand the scope of the project, his debt continued to grow. The king soon owned 40 million marks when he began demanding loans from other royalties. The ministers decided to come together to put an end to what they saw as a runaway train. After the king was deposed, he was taken from the castle in the middle of the night. Less than 6 months after he started to stay there, the next day, his body was mysteriously found near the shore of Lake Starnberg, along with one of the psychologists who declared him insane. The death was ruled a suicide by drowning, despite no water was found in his lungs and accounts of bullet holes in his back. King Ludwig built the bridge so that people could admire his castle from a distance as well. The bridge gets its name after Ludwig's mother, Queen Mary. Marienbrücke translates in English to Mary's Bridge. At the time of his death, only 14 out of 200 rooms in the castle were finished. Despite being incomplete, the castle still attracts over 1 million visitors each year. Ironically, when the castle was intended as a private retreat for the reclusive king and created such financial turmoil, the castle is now one of the key income for the local economy. If you're a big fan of fairy tale and history, this tragic tale castle should definitely be in your travel bucket list. That's all from me now. Tschüss!